Let's talk Oklahoma football 2024 season preview. Head coach Brent Venables. Big season coming up. Year 3. A lot of pressure. A lot of expectations, and rightfully so. These are very warranted expectations. I think the Oklahoma fan base would tell you that this is like SEC title. Get to the SEC title game. This is the expectation. Jackson Arnold. I want to say he pushed Dillon Gabriel out, but I mean, I think the Oklahoma staff, I think they knew that Jackson Arnold, I think they knew he was the guy. And that says a lot because Dillon is, I think, the Heisman favorite right now, which says a lot about Jackson Arnold and what he's capable of. Remember, he was part of that 2023 quarterback recruiting class. They had Nico, Dante Moore, Arnold, Arch Manning, Malachi Nelson. A loaded class, and Jackson Arnold had the most buzz and probably improved the most out of any of those quarterbacks. So there's a lot going for them on offense. Then you have Todd Bates right here, associate head coach, defensive line coach. Excellent recruiter, develops excellent D linemen, has for a very long time. I want to see if I can pull up his resume on here. Because he was at Clemson, and I don't know if it has the guys in there. Here we go. Christian Wilkins, Dexter Lawrence, Cleveland Farrell, Austin Bryant, Niles Pickney, Tyler Davis. Where we at? Brian Bresee. Yeah, a lot of guys that he's developed. He's doing the same thing here. And we can take a look at this depth chart, and we'll start on defense. Yeah, Brent Venables is a defensive-minded head coach, and then Todd Bates. And just look at this defensive line. Now, back here on the 3 deep is David Stone. Okay? True freshman. Now, if I had to make a prediction, he won't be a backup or a third string guy for very long. This is a guy that's way too talented to keep off the field. Same with PJ Adebawore. I know he's a bit buried right now, but I think these two are just freak athletes for their position. Obviously, David Stone's a bigger guy, but for his size, he can move very well. 5-star defensive tackle. PJ Adebawore, 2 years ago in that 2023 class, was probably the number 1, number 2 biggest freak, right there with Nicholas Harbor. Okay, this is one of the better edge rushers on Oklahoma's roster, and I'm gonna say, like, he should be probably 1 or 2 in the sack for team sacks. Because there's a lot of good players here, don't get me wrong. Like, Ethan Downs is a very good player, and he could lead the team in sacks. That wouldn't be a problem. But I feel like Brent Venables, his defense is so aggressive that the more speed you have, the better on the outside. And the bigger the guys in the middle, and they're going to get guys. TCU transfer, 320 pounds. He was one of the more sought-after defensive line transfers. Now, there's very few defensive tackle transfers, like a high caliber, that title contenders would go after. Oops. Here we go. Caden Willard. So he's from Miami, Ohio. I'm going to be honest, I do not know who this guy is. That doesn't mean he's a bad player, obviously. But this is what I was talking about. There's guys that are buried on the depth chart that are just tremendous athletes. 6'2", 240, Mason Thomas. Should probably get on the field. 6'4", 250. Telling you, PJ Adebawore, guy to keep an eye on. Oklahoma fans would say the same thing. Grayson Halton, another big-time player in the middle. All the tools, all the tools. At linebacker, one of the better linebackers in all of college football, Danny Stutzman. You should know who he is. If you follow college football, you should know who this guy is. One of the better players in the SEC this year. Now, at DB, not a lot changed. Okay. Where is Peyton Bowen at? So he is a backup on here. Now, I don't think he's going to be a backup. He could very well be their best defensive back by the end of the season. Remember, this is the guy that had a crazy recruitment. Stepped in last year and actually got some playing time. Like, he's a very good player. Overall, the defense is very solid. Kip Lewis, he's He's only a redshirt sophomore. Very experienced secondary. Senior, senior transfer. Deshaun McCullough, Indiana guy. Yep. Indiana transfer. He can do it all. He can play outside linebacker, middle linebacker, nickel, safety. He can do it all. He's just like Peyton Bowen. I don't know why he's in the 2 deep. I'd assume he's going to be a starter by the time the season. Makari Vickers, same type of deal. This guy's way too talented to be on the 3rd string for a corner. Overall, defense should be near the top of the SEC, especially with Brent Venables at head coach. Now, offense. Obviously, you lose Dylan Gabriel, but you have Jackson Arnold at quarterback. Lots of like there. A lot of upside. Expectations are through the roof. Gavin Sawchuk, Javante Barnes. Excellent running backs. And then you got Taylor Tatum, top 50 player. I know he's a true freshman. He'll get on the field. Let's see. Offensive line. A lot of new faces. They have they have 3 new guys. 3 transfers. North Texas. Now, he was a pretty sought after transfer. I remember seeing him in the portal. SMU, center. And USC, left tackle. See if okay, so obviously we know who Nick Anderson is. He's gonna be preseason all SEC, probably 2nd, 3rd team maybe. Deion Burks, Purdue guy. Big time player. Yeah, they got experience throughout the offense. 2 new tight ends. So the Baylor tight end. All right, while we're here, let's go check out some of these transfers that they got. See where they ranked in this 2024 class. Just so we can get familiar with them. This is what it's all about. Just getting familiar with these players. See how this O-line is going to be looking. All right. So SC, 4-star out of high school, 3-star transfer. Same thing with Hatchett. Who else? 3-star. See, there's Williams. He was one of the better D-line transfers from TCU. A lot of big-time schools wanted him, and Oklahoma got him. There's Caden Woolard. There you go. 4-star transfer from Miami, Ohio. 6'5", 250. See, they're going to be able to just rotate guys. So, Deion Burks. Yep, we know about him at Purdue. That was a good decision by him to leave. He's way too good of a player to not get the recognition that he deserves. And he's gonna get it at Oklahoma. Yeah, so the O-line, it doesn't look like they got high impact guys. But definitely guys that they think are gonna be good. Or else you don't take them, right? Not only did they take them, but they also expect them to start, as you can see right here. Now, Eddie Pierre-Louis. So, he's like 300-some pounds, 305 pounds, and he's one of the fastest players on this team. Like, I don't know if you guys saw the video of him running track. He's crazy fast for his size. Now, for him to be a right guard, that's probably where he's going to stay at. He's not the tallest. What was he? Oh, 6'3". And that's pretty good size. But yeah, I'd assume he's gonna play guard. But heck, if these transfers don't work out, like you might have to throw him in there. I mean, his body is college ready, and he's a freak athlete for an offensive lineman. It's actually crazy. If you have the chance, go ahead and look that video up of him running track. All right, let's get into the schedule real quick, just to give a little prediction. So, be a win in Tulane. Now that's going to be a tough game, but it should be a win. And all these games are home. These opening 3, so they should be 3-0 before this Tennessee game, which is their SEC. Welcome to the SEC game. You know what I'm saying? They're home though, and it's going to be a battle between 2 first-year starters at quarterback, Nico and Arnold. Now, if this is a night game and you're home, this is a game you could maybe ride your defense. It could be a low-scoring game. Now, obviously, the offense for Tennessee and the offense for Oklahoma are going to be very high-scoring, chuck the ball down the field type offenses, very similar offenses. You know, the wide splits, the veer and shoot, assuming Oklahoma keeps that, even though Jeff Lebby's no longer there. But yeah, this might be a 50-50 game. We're going to learn a lot about Oklahoma in these 3 games. Maybe not Temple, but Houston and Tulane. This is good opening competition to get you ready for the season. It's better than playing like an FCS team. Every school should have one game that, I mean, they got Maine down there. But just to get you beat Tennessee, it doesn't get easier. You have to go to Auburn, play at Auburn. That should be a win. Oklahoma should be favored in that. Peyton Thorne, we know he is at quarterback for Auburn. Venables, you got to trust him to get this defense right, and you should win a game like that. When you have an advantage at quarterback, the caliber of coaching and players, athletes on Oklahoma's defense should win that game. Now, Texas, this is off a bye, and this is the Red River rivalry, guys, at the Cotton Bowl. And last year, Oklahoma beat Texas, the same Texas team that went to the playoff. This was their loss. Now, what's changed? Texas lost a lot on the defensive line. Oklahoma lost the quarterback that ultimately won them that game. Oklahoma has to replace that quarterback. Texas has to replace that terrific defensive line. And Texas did that. In Oklahoma, we're going to have to wait and see if they fix their, or replace their missing piece at quarterback. If I had to put a number on it right now, I'd say Texas would be probably a 2.5, 3.5 point favorite. And I only say that because Quinn Ewers is the quarterback. But Texas lost last year. Texas was the better team last year. That's what we all thought going into the game. And look what Texas did. They went to the playoff. Arguably, they should have won the playoff game and gone to the national title, but this was their loss. Personally, this is going to be a hard game for Oklahoma to win. Obviously, winning back-to-back years, especially with a new quarterback. That's probably the first game that I'd pick them to lose. But South Carolina, at Ole Miss, you're going to be an underdog 100% at Ole Miss. Ole Miss is going to be a really good team this year. Maine win at Missouri. Again, another tough road game. Missouri, a lot of good pieces, but quarterback, Brady Cook, is he the real deal? I mean, I guess we're just going to have to find out. Oklahoma, just like I said about Tennessee, when you have an advantage at quarterback, these are the games that you hope Brent Venables, the reason you brought him there, these are the games that you hope that he can just take over. And maybe you win a low-scoring game. Maybe it's a night game. Maybe it's like a 17-10 game, 17-13. Then you pull out the win on the road. And then you get a bye. And then it doesn't get any easier. You play Alabama and LSU to end the season. Oklahoma has a hard schedule, guys. This schedule is crazy tough. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 preseason, top 20 teams? Top 16 teams? 5 top 16 teams. Or what? 6. Yeah, 6 top 16 teams. That's crazy. Now, winning 3 of these, obviously, you want to win the home games. So you want to win the Tennessee game. That's a neutral, away, and then home. So if you beat Alabama and Tennessee on your home turf, and you lose the other, that means you went 2-4 in those, and you probably finished the year 8-4. Obviously, that's below the standard and below the expectation for Oklahoma fans. But at some point, you just have to face reality. Okay, this isn't the Big 12. Yeah, you don't get to play Baylor, and I don't know who else is even at the bottom of the conference anymore. It's a crazy Big 12. But the point is, there's really no off weeks in the SEC. Like Auburn. That's between Tennessee and Texas. That's no sleeper game. You can easily lose that game at Auburn. South Carolina, I hope you don't lose this game. You're home. But if you're on the road, definitely wouldn't be a sleeper game. If I had to put a prediction, I'd say 9-3. I'm a strong believer in Brent Venables and what Oklahoma can be this year. I was a big fan of Venables when he was at Oklahoma or Clemson. I always thought Clemson had a very underrated defense, even though statistically they're always high. I feel like the national perception was always about who their quarterback was, whether it was Deshaun or Trevor Lawrence. I think it was always about the quarterback, not really the defense. Like when DJU was there, it was always about DJU's problems or how DJU was holding the back, especially in 2021. It was never about how good the defense was and how the defense was winning them games. Now we could see that with Oklahoma this year. And is that a problem? Oh, no, of course not. It's not a problem. You're winning games. It doesn't matter how you win them as long as you win them, right? So yeah, I'd say 9-3 is a good expectation. Now they could very well start 5-0 and gain momentum. You beat Texas 6-0. Heck, all your goals are in front of you. All right, let's take a look at their 2025 class so far, just to end the team preview. Now Oklahoma, they're ranked 9th in recruiting. They have 22 commits. Cortez Mills leads the way. He's the 13th best receiver. They also got Elijah Thomas at receiver. Out of these 3 guys. But there was a point in time, I'll go ahead and show you, that he was a pretty highly rated recruit. Prospect. He's from Mater Dei. 6'1", 190. Look at this. There's a point in time he was a top 50 player for a while. For nearly a year, he was a top 50, top 60 player. Now, why did that change? Camps happened. A whole season happened. But the way I see it, if you're at one point a highly rated player amongst your peers, and just because you didn't go to camps and other guys did, for you to drop, I still look at you as a very good player if you perform on game day. And he's a really good player. Amarian Robinson, another good safety from Arkansas. Defensive line. Let's see what they got. They got Trent Wilson from Maryland. He's the 19th. Floyd Bucar. He's from Miami, Florida. So they went to Miami, Florida, and they went and got a pretty good defensive lineman. Let's go look at their top prospects, because I was expecting some more defensive linemen, but I know they were in it for multiple guys. Jonah Williams, they kind of faded out for. That's Oregon, Texas, Texas A&M, LSU. Yeah. Michael Fasusi, they're going to have to beat the Texas schools for him as well. A&M, Oklahoma. Yeah, they're in it. Texas and A&M are right there. Let's see. Lockett, he's probably going to Texas. Josh Petty. Wait, now this is interesting. Number 3 offensive tackle. Visits. So they got the last visit. But Michigan, yeah, Michigan and Auburn. This is a winnable recruitment, in my opinion. Yeah, he's from Kansas. They got the proximity to home going for them. That's a big-time target for them. Let's see. Where's the defensive lineman? Christian Jones. He's a linebacker. Prediction in Nebraska. Let's go to the offers and see. I think this says something, though. If they don't have a lot of top targets on the defensive line, they must feel good about their depth. And I already pointed out PJ Adebawore and David Stone. Guys like that. Big-time players. Till signing day. All these guys have to sign with the schools, so they can always chip away. Here's a JUCO guy. Xavier Hardy. Check out linebacker. Another part. Yeah, the ceiling of this class doesn't look all that high. Hey, there's nothing wrong with being top 10. Like, this is good. This is a very good class for them. I just got to hold on to these guys. And obviously, you're going to hit the transfer portal, as you'd expect a top-tier program to do. So, yeah, that's going to do it for Oklahoma's season preview. I think 9-3 is a real possibility. And I expect them to keep that number 9 overall in the recruiting class.